Welcome, nerds, to another episode of the Nerd Rundown podcast, where we cover the latest in the nerd world of movies, TV, and more. I'm one of your hosts today, Darren Stemple. You all know my co-pilot, Eric Hare.
Hi, everybody.
And our two other co-hosts today are Big Mork 3000.
Hello.
And Mr. Jason Sparks.
Howdy.
Thank you to everyone for watching and listening in. You can find us on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Nerd Rundown. And you can listen to our podcast on all the major podcast services. Good to be back on the show. Thank you so much, Eric and Morgan, for hosting last week. You guys did a fantastic job. Made me laugh. Wow, I was not feeling all that great, recovering from COVID over the last week and a half.
You were gracious enough to give it to me. Thank you. Thank you.
I am honored to have our leaders praised.
The dear leader. Have our dear leader back.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, still not sure how to take all that, but
no, it's fine. I mean, we have our mandatory picture of you in our houses that we all,
right.
You know,
we all hanging above the toilet.
Hey, yeah,
really hates a dictator.
Yeah, really.
I love you guys. I love you guys. Well, we have a fantastic show for you all today. We're going to cover the latest news on the rundown, and then we got a couple of really great NRDbox questions. So let's get to the rundown where this past week we got news on a sequel to one of, I know, my favorite games, not just Star Wars games, but games of all time. And I know Morg has it pretty high up on his list as well. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel officially confirmed. For way down the road. We have to wait for a very long time for it. However, it's still exciting news. This is kind of was obvious with its record sales that it did, but it's good to have it officially confirmed. So, Morgan, what do you think of that news? I should say.
I'm excited. That game deserved a sequel, so it took a little longer for it to happen than I figured it would with how big of a hit it was, but I'm super excited. It is one of my top games of all time. So the more I can get of it, the better.
Absolutely. I'm hoping that we get more Cal Kestis in whatever track he's on. And I really would like to see it tied more into the larger Star Wars universe. It takes place way before A New Hope, kind of in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, but really cool not Fallen Order, Order 66 Easter egg there in that game. So anyway, very excited. I know Eric and Jason haven't played it, but
actually
we highly recommend it.
Yeah, I actually have. I forgot that I had. Yeah, I was thinking about it. That you played it. Yeah. Well, so I have Google Stadia. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's like a cloud gaming system. So and they send you like free games every once in a while. And I saw a Star Wars game and I was like, oh yeah, I'll subscribe to that. And so I grabbed it for free. And then my son Jackson was playing. He's like, Dad, we have a Star Wars game on here. And I was like, oh, cool, you know. And so he's playing it, and I was like, oh, this game actually looks pretty neat. And so, you know, I've played it off and on. Like, I've helped him when he gets stuck on places. I've helped him do everything. But the cutscenes on it were really cool. I was like, oh man, this is pretty. I like the story. This kid's like all of a sudden discovering, like, he just works in the yard, you know, breaking spaceships, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, he has, you know, force powers and stuff. So that was kind of cool and stuff. So yeah, I have played it and I have enjoyed it. But I mean, my experience with it is very, very brief. I don't have a ton of experience, but so far what I played of it, I liked. So and apparently it's popular enough to throw a sequel together.
Very good. So. Very good.
It was the fastest selling Star Wars game ever, or the most highest selling Star Wars game ever. It's very fun. It had we may have even gotten a little throwback to that first game in this past week's Boba Fett.
Yes.
So maybe the best droid in any Star Wars medium, BD1.
BD1.
Next on the rundown, we have a Pinocchio trailer from the acclaimed director Guillermo Del Toro, who brought us movies such as Hellboy and no, he didn't do Coraline, but
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth. That's what I'm thinking of.
Most important, he's done the Pacific Rim movies, so, or at least the first Pacific Rim.
That's right.
Which, I mean, who doesn't like giant robots fighting?
Everybody likes giant things, beat giant things up.
Yeah. I mean, it's all kinds of.
It's all about the size. You know?
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Well, he's a very well known director in the nerd world. What do you think of this news, Jason? I'm going to send it off to you. What did you think of the Pinocchio trailer?
Watching the really brief trailer, it actually looks like it's going to be pretty good. I mean, it's Pinocchio. It's a classic story. It's another rehashing of a classic, which kind of seems to be the trend. But aside from that, I mean, it actually looks like it's going to be pretty good. So I will watch it. I'll watch it for sure.
Really, really great voice cast, Eric, to take on this retelling of Pinocchio from Netflix, by the way. So it's not the Disney retelling of Pinocchio. It's a different studio altogether. Eric, what do you think?
Yeah, all right. It's another remake.
Here we go.
That's what we're doing. We're doing all remakes. So
really
we don't want to take any chances on a new story. So let's rehash something.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, how are you gonna do better than Disney's Pinocchio? You know, or any? It just. I like Guillermo Del Toro.
Taylor Thomas Pinocchio.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's. I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
The JTT.
That one was out of my mind. So far.
I forgot about that masterpiece. So we have a thing coming up later. I may have to add the Pinocchio to my list of coming up in the Presents episode. I'll tease that a little bit. So no, I don't know. Sure, the teaser looked okay. It's I think Ewan McGregor's voice looks like he's playing Jiminy Cricket, but it's not Jiminy Cricket. So
Right.
I don't know. But whatever, man. I'm not. I won't. I most likely won't see it. I maybe if the kids want to see it, we'll watch it. But
there's nothing stronger than a whatever, man.
Yeah.
Whatever,
man.
Morgan, I know you love everything. What do you?
You think? I'm with Eric on this. It's a thing that I could care less about. I don't know why it's being done, why it needs to be done. I will be excited to see the twist of Pinocchio's been dead the whole time or whatever. I mean, that'll be a good little twist. Then maybe I'll enjoy it. But no, I mean, I'll probably watch it at some point with my son. But like that, I could care less.
Man, I feel like I should withdraw everything I said earlier. It's not. It doesn't look good. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna do it.
Jason's like, I can't wait.
Yeah. Next on the rundown, we have a Mortal Kombat sequel officially to go, and the Moon Knight scribe Jeremy Slater will be penning the script. Eric, do you think we'll get a tournament in this sequel?
I would hope so. I mean, that would be awesome. Like it really would. I watched about half of the first one and I had something come up and I couldn't finish the back half of it. It wasn't because it wasn't good. Yeah. It wasn't because it wasn't good. I watched it. I kind of never went back to it. So I wouldn't say it wasn't good, but it like the opening sequence of it was spectacular. Like I love that opening scene. It was really, really great. And I enjoyed what I saw of the first movie. So getting the green light on another one, I think, maybe Sonic broke the, broke the mold of every video game movie is a hunk of crap. And so now it's like, now where they're actually doing a good job or maybe they're being more successful with them. But it would be way cooler to see a lot more characters from the video game in the movie, and then you could kind of like you said, have that big tournament and everything. And that would be pretty spectacular. Plus, I mean, going back to my old Bloodsport days, those movies and everything with Van Damme, all the big Karate Kid tournaments, and the Bloodsport tournaments and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff was just spectacular. Yeah,
Jean-Claude. Yeah. Jean-Claude.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think I'm looking forward to it. I'll just say that I'm looking forward to that one. Yep.
Jason, did you watch the first Mortal Kombat movie?
Yeah. I mean,
or second or third or whatever it is.
Yes, of course I did. I mean, I can say that I'm looking forward to the storyline.
Yeah, right.
What storyline?
Yeah, I guess that's a qualification.
Yeah. Or the dialogue or any of that. But watching some good action is always fun. So, I mean, I'm not gonna rush to see it, but there's a good chance I'll end up watching it.
Yeah, Mark.
No, I agree. I'll watch it if it comes to HBO Max for free. That's how I watched the first one. I didn't hate it. It was fun. It was better than I think the other Mortal Kombat movies were. So I enjoyed it, and I think the sequel will be fun as long as they do the tournament.
Really, really good tease at the end of the first one for Johnny Cage, which not my favorite Mortal Kombat character of all time, but definitely one you want to see in a movie when you have a movie called Mortal Kombat. So looking forward to seeing some Johnny Cage. Next on the rundown, we have a live action He-Man movie that was dead in the water, but now Netflix has come along in all of their glory and revived the live action He-Man movie. It will star somebody named Kyle Allen. So Eric, I know you like He-Man.
No, you like remakes.
And you
Yeah. All right. I don't know, man. Like
you're getting to a point. I feel you're at a breaking point.
Yeah. Like I don't understand it. Like I do understand it. It's just, okay. So the original He-Man movie with Dolph Lundgren was a shit show. I mean, it was just it's a terrible B movie.
It's a number one. It's a 1 on the scale.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's a bad movie, it really is, but you can't help but love Dolph Lundgren, and it's one of those guilty pleasure movies where, gosh, if it's on, I'll watch it, and it's like, oh, this is so bad. It's good, right. So just be better than that, but don't be terrible, but don't go in the other direction. So I don't know, like you could tell a good He-Man story. Like there's a good He-Man story there that you could tell. And so hopefully they do it justice, because I mean, the whole concept of it is kind of silly in and of itself, but you could do it well. And so hopefully they'll get it right. If it's Netflix, something's good. The one leg will be longer than the other, and so some sort of, outlet mall. It's the outlet mall of movies. I say it every week whenever we talk about it.
I love outlet malls.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's like, I love getting 60% off because there's an extra stitch in the sleeve.
It's amazing.
I get that. So, but we'll see. I don't know.
Morgan?
No, I don't care about it. It's just one of those things. I didn't need it. I didn't want it. I mean, it could be good, but I probably won't even watch it.
Yeah. Hype level is 0.
Yeah.
Jason?
Yeah, no, same.
He's gonna go, I'm super excited.
This is like the best rundown ever. How many things can we hate in a row?
Yeah.
For me,
there's a few coming up. I'll tell you that.
Right? As long as there is some humor in it, I think I can stand to watch it.
All right. I like that take.
If it's dry and takes itself way too seriously, it's gonna suck. So
yeah.
That's about it.
Wait, this is late on the line. It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Next on the rundown, we have some casting news. Somebody who is a very well-known actress in the nerd world of movies, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, has been added to the Ahsoka TV series in an unnamed role. Morgan, who do you think Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing in the Ahsoka series?
No idea. No, I don't think she's going to actually play anyone huge.
Okay.
Because they can pull in some big actors into these shows, and a lot of these actors are just happy to play anything in it, whether you know what I mean, even if you don't see them. So she might not be anything big. I mean, I am excited because, like you said, she's big in the nerd world. I like her and everything I see her in, so I think it'll be great. I am excited for that show. I think that's going to be a pretty good Star Wars show.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, Jason.
My guess is maybe Barriss Offee. I mean,
who would that be?
So she is another Jedi Padawan that ends up going dark, but I think just based on the characters that fall into the Ahsoka timeline, and I think she's about the right look and the right age to end up being Barriss.
God, that name sounds so familiar. What is she?
She's in the Clone Wars animated.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's how I know it. Okay, Eric, are you excited for the Ahsoka TV show? Do you know much about it?
I liked. I didn't watch any of the Clone Wars, so I don't have a lot. I don't have any experience with her other than her appearance in The Mandalorian. But I did enjoy her there, and so leading up to that, Mara Jade.
I was thinking Mara Jade, but I don't know if it's right in where in the timeline this show will take place. I guess it's going to take place after Return of the Jedi, along with after Rebels as well.
That's when this happens, right? Is after Return.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
The Empire is fractured, and
that'd be cool.
I mean, if I understood the Mandalorian part right, she was after Thrawn, right? I mean, she's that's what she's after, and I mean that's Mara Jade is kind of at least was tied at the hip with Thrawn, if you will. So
she actually started out as a Vader apprentice, and that would be a cool dichotomy between an Anakin apprentice and a Vader apprentice.
Right.
Yeah,
so that'd be cool. And then she can meet Luke Skywalker, and they can kiss and live happily ever after. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And I'll never accept anything different. Jason Momoa is joining Fast and Furious 10. Newly divorced Jason Momoa, ladies. How about that?
My wife's already got a bag packed for me. Just
oh man,
in case she gets the call.
Yeah,
I have a bag. She has a bag packed for me. It's just like, you're out.
Yeah,
I heard Pete Davidson might be moving in.
Better watch out for Pete Davidson.
Watch out, man.
He does that long, he likes those dark-haired long girls.
You gonna get him?
Yeah.
I guess because they could not bring The Rock back, they had to go get dirtier looking Rock.
The Dirty Rock.
The Dirty Rock.
The discount Rock.
Discount Rock. The discount Rock. Morgan, I know you're a fan of these movies. What do you think?
So the last one, I didn't see. The newest one.
Yeah.
The one before that, I don't think I've actually seen from start to finish. I don't know. It'll be nice to have a new face in it, but I'm probably not going to watch it. It was one of my favorite series. I loved it. The first one, I remember seeing that at a drive-in, and it was a lot of fun. But it went off the deep rails at some point. I don't know.
Jason, are you excited for this?
No.
All right.
So far, the only thing I've been positive about on this episode is the fact that I have COVID.
Oh, nice.
I'm COVID positive right now. That's the only positive.
Sure. He's COVID positive.
Yeah.
I want to jump backwards real quick because I just remembered that Mara Jade just got added to the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes game.
Oh,
which kind of makes me think Eric might actually be right.
Yeah.
Because she like very recently got added in. So
does she have a purple lightsaber in it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bright red hair. Purple lightsaber.
Yes. Right. Her and Luke forever. I'm going to move on from Fast and Furious talk. Original movies.
You're not even gonna ask me what I think of Fast and the Furious.
I don't need you.
We know what you think.
50,000. This is.
I don't want to talk about.
Do you guys remember the movie Spaceballs, where he's like, going through, and it's one of the commercials is for Rocky 5,000, and it's like
movies just don't make sense.
That's the way I feel these Fast and Furious. It's like I'm waiting for that they're all going to be. Look, I put new tennis balls on the bottom of my walker, and I'm half a second faster in the quarter mile. I don't.
I mean, they actually went to space in the last movie, so I don't even know.
Listen, they listened to Ludacris in the first movie, and then had Ludacris in the second movie, but it wasn't Ludacris. So right then, we should have known the whole thing was just Ludacris.
That's ridiculous. It feels like it feels like when on Rick and Morty when they did Interdimensional Cable, where it was just like most outlandish stuff going on. That's what these movies are now, and they're kind of a joke to me.
I can't believe they make as much money as they do. It's I can't believe there's an audience still out there for it.
People like cars, man.
Yeah, they do, and family. So next on the rundown,
family.
Some original movies were announced. Finally, Eric, here you go, buddy.
Well,
the first one is an action comedy Christmas movie, and that sounds awesome. And then it also is going to star Chris Evans and Dwayne Johnson. The movie's called Red One. Eric, you get something original. What do you think?
Hey, I'm all for it, man. Like I don't know anything about it other than what I saw. DJ posted something about it. He's doing a movie with Captain America, doing a Christmas movie with Captain America. I love Christmas movies. I think, those are always fun. I always like to see people's new spins or new takes on how that's going to be. The fact that it's an original movie. Please, could I have some more? Like, it may stink. I don't care. At least they're trying something, and I'm good with that. So, but I have a feeling if it's going to be Evans and DJ, it's probably going to be fun. If it's some sort of like Jingle All the Way type deal, where it's like
a
couple of dads,
put that cookie down.
Love that movie.
Yeah, like I think like maybe it's a competition between neighbors or something, like for Christmas lights, or I don't know what it's going to be, but hopefully it's some sort of competition show between those two dudes. And I'll be thrilled with that, but whatever they come up with, I'm sure it's going to be fun. So both those guys have great sense of humor, and can deliver, some pretty good stuff. So I think it'll be fun.
Here's a little byline for it. A globe-trotting 4-quadrant action adventure comedy imagining a whole new universe to explore within the holiday genre. Holy cow, hyperbole.
It sounds very cryptic.
I was really hoping it was going to be it's not like an Air Force One movie, where you got to get off my sleigh because it's called Red One. Sounds presidential, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I was really hoping for.
Get off my sleigh.
See Ryan Reynolds
get behind that.
Claus, get off my damn sleigh.
Get off my sleigh. Yeah. I think that works. Who's going to be the terrorist?
I don't know. I'd like to see Evans as a bad guy. I like to see him as a bad guy. Jason, what do you think?
I just want to see him as a funny guy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done such a good job in comedy early on, and I mean, I'm sure he's done stuff I haven't seen that was in that vein, but I really haven't seen much of him since being Captain America. So it'd be cool. Which, I mean, it's funny in its own right, but he's still kind of a very serious character.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool. It's gonna be cool to watch him be funny, and I mean, DJ always delivers.
Heck yeah. Well, one of last year's original best things that came out last year that was original, or not original, but it was original, and it was Christmas, was 8-Bit Christmas. So I'm looking forward to it.
That was an amazing one, man.
Really good Christmas stuff. Next, we have my main man, John Krasinski, directing his old good buddy from The Office, Steve Carell, and Ryan Reynolds, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge in a new original movie called If. I'm excited already. But you put that cast together, I'm sure John Krasinski will also play a part in the movie, whether it's a small part or not. But love seeing the two reconnect from The Office, and then you add in Ryan Reynolds. Holy cow! Eric, are you excited?
Yeah, I don't know. What do I know about it? Nothing. So cast wise,
I just told you a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you didn't. You didn't tell me shit.
Well, the plot details are currently unknown.
Right.
So we don't have any plots.
Is it a remake of the original If?
Well, so here's what's going to happen. Ryan Reynolds is going to play some sort of a smartass character.
Yeah.
Steve Carell will either play a idiot savant or a serious. It's like a serious role that'll be out of what you think he normally would play, like a dry sense of humor type guy. And then Krasinski will pull it all together and make it amazing. So yeah, sure, I'm in for it. So
it says it's a fantasy adventure film. I'm always down for those.
Yeah. Fantasy adventure. All right.
Yeah.
Well, cast wise, I look great. I love Carell. I love Ryan Reynolds. So I'm in
Louis
on that
Gossett
one.
Jr.
I haven't seen.
He hasn't. I haven't
seen Chappie. I haven't seen Chappie in a long time. Like it's been. I think I love this show Psych that used to be on USA, and he did a guest episode on that, and I think that's the last time I've seen him in anything. But if somebody somewhere along the lines, if Ryan Reynolds misses an opportunity to say I've got no place else to go, I'll be disappointed. So, but if you miss an opportunity to do an officer and a gentleman line, we'll see. But yeah, Krasinski is on a roll.
Oh yeah.
With his directing stuff. So, I think if he can keep the streak going, I think we're going to be in good shape because my understanding is we're getting a third
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place that he's associated with too. So so far he's knocked it out of the park. So I'm looking forward to it. But
yeah, love him.
Oh yeah,
hey, Jason, you love him?
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm pretty sure Eric handled that one perfectly.
Yeah.
I got nothing to add.
Yep.
I could talk John Krasinski all night long if you guys want to. Just let me know.
I can too.
And so last in the rundown, we have from James Gunn himself, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be the last time we see this team together, this groundbreaking team. It's going to be the third movie. Not a big surprise. Also not a big surprise with all the crap that's gone down with this cast in the last years and director. So not surprised at all. Morgan, what do you think? Are you going to be sad to see this team go?
A little, but I mean, I expected it as well. It's the third one, like you said, Dave Bautista and whatever went down. So I kind of expected it, especially with the way they're doing stuff with the lineup. With the new Thor movie and Jane Foster and this. So yeah, I kind of expected it. Yeah, I hope they do it right.
Who do you think it's going to be, Eric? It's going to die.
So I'm curious. Sorry if I'm gonna sidetrack you real quick. So, Thor: Love and Thunder. How will the Guardians play into this one? Because right now, I mean, as we left them, Thor was the Asgardians of the Galaxy, you know, was kind of the joke, I guess, or whatever. But we're picking up Thor: Love and Thunder. But last I saw, he was on board, you know, with the Guardians. Yeah, with the Guardians. So I'm curious how much those guys are going to be in this sequel as well, and we may see. So we may get, like, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.5 or something. And then, you know, maybe we'll wrap up the trilogy then in the third. And I'm okay with them wrapping up the trilogy, if you will, and moving those characters on. Bautista, you know, the guy's getting older. It's hard to maintain that, you know, from a makeup perspective and all that. You know, as you get older, your body just does stuff that you don't necessarily want it to do. So I get him wanting to move on. I think I read something about Bradley Cooper not wanting to do the voice, I think, any longer. At least that's what I had read, I thought, but maybe I read it wrong. Maybe they just said that this would be his last time doing that voice or whatever. I think they can find another moron to do I Am Groot that could fill in for the existing plank of wood that does the I Am Groot voice. So, you know, but I don't know. Like I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So however they wrap it up, however James Gunn wants to do it, I'm going to be cool with it. Yeah. I'm going to be sad because I really do enjoy those characters. I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, how much they kind of came out of nowhere and really surprised me with how great they were, you know, from top to bottom, and how much fun those two movies have been. One of the rare instances where the sequel, you know, I wouldn't say surpasses the original, but like is on par with the original. So
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so I love the cast and I love the music has always been really spectacular. I think that's part of what's made those movies as successful as they have, is they've done such a great job of integrating, you know, 70s and 80s, you know, music into it, where you're like, oh man, this is so much fun. So, so yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my take on it. So,
well, you bring up a good point.
I do have the COVID brain fog, so I may be rambling a little bit. So I apologize. So.
We do. You bring up a good point about as Guardians of the Galaxy. They are confirmed to be in Thor: Love and Thunder. What or how much we don't know.
I did check out IMDb, and it doesn't look like they're all in there.
Not all of them, or
well, I mean, I obviously have no idea. It's not out, but according to IMDb, Rocket's not in there, and Dave Bautista's not in there.
Oh, well, maybe it's just like a Chris Pratt like drops him off at
right.
on a plan. He's like, see ya, and then that's the moment. But we will get actually the full team in Guardians of the Galaxy, a Christmas special coming in December of this year. So
nice.
That's gonna be
Volume 3 won't necessarily be like we will see them leading up to that.
Those are some of my favorites in the MCU. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies were just amazing. I mean, they brought the funny. There's a lot of heart there. The action's awesome.
Yep.
Just great movies.
They can't miss. They can't miss. And James Gunn does a fantastic job with that. Suicide Squad's, which is going to be a topic later on. So James Gunn, brilliant, never misses at all. He's a brilliant man. Looking forward to Volume 3, which comes out in 2024, if I'm not mistaken. So it's got a while before we actually have to say goodbye to him.
Gun in his mouth.
All right, that's the rundown. Pretty busy week. Like it. Bring me more news, Nerd World. Love it. NRDbox time. We're going to open it up with the first question from friend of the show, Meg Bradbury. Meg. She she writes in, who's the worst villain? Not worst like good at being awful, but like the worst because they're super lame. Great question, because
That's a good one.
Holy
That's a really
cow.
good question.
Jason, who do you think
Sure.
is the lamest villain?
Okay, not that most people like this movie in the first place, but I'm gonna go with Dennis Hopper as King Koopa in the Mario movie. That was,
wow.
That was one of the worst things I think I've ever seen.
That's so good.
Oh man.
Oh, that's so
that was
good.
just such a disappointing King Koopa.
And it's Dennis Hopper.
I know. He's so fantastic, and I'm not saying he played the version that they threw at him badly. It just was that never should have been what King Koopa was.
Bad.
So, yeah, just bad.
Oh man, that's gonna be hard to beat. Eric, who do you think? Eric, you're on mute. He has COVID, people.
Move on. So I'm trying to think. I don't know who would be I'm trying to think of it's Dr. Freeze from Batman.
Mr. Freeze?
Mr. Freeze. Yeah. I mean,
I think that's a good one.
I just absolutely hated everything about that movie. You know, I mean, it just was nice to meet you. You know, it's just like, oh my God, it was just, the camp was so bad, so bad on that. And
good one too.
So yeah, I don't know. There's actually a good long list. This is a great question, and this may actually be a great topic for the presents. We may want to revisit this one for the presents and really dig into some really awful villains. So Meg, great question. Really great question. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Who you got, Morg?
So I narrowed it down to two, it's between Kite Man and Condiment Man. So Kite Man, I mean, he's got a big kite.
These are only in comic books, though. Yeah,
these are the comic books. So I'm going to go Condiment Man, because Kite Man could at least float around on his kite. Condiment Man, he literally he would spray ketchup and mustard at you. That was his thing.
You don't want that guy around.
I know. So.
You've seen the Batman Lego movie, right? You've seen Batman Lego and the Condiment Man.
That's a good one.
Oh my God.
That whole sequence where he goes through all the names of all the villains that are out there.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, you're making up some of these, aren't you? No, that's serious.
No. Condiment Man.
Condiment Man. I'm gonna go with Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and my God, that was so bad.
Yeah, it sucked.
That was the worst of all time. But I'm gonna throw in worst villain name. And I'm going to throw in Count Dooku.
That's pretty bad.
That's fair.
Everybody was walking around when he'd leave, like Count Dookie.
Count Dooku.
He's like
the 9-year-old boy in all of us goes, hey, this sounds like
it sounds like a turd. It sounds like a vampire turd. That's gonna be a really good presents one day, Meg. Thank you for sending that, man. The next one comes in from our good friend of the show, Bryant Castile. Bryant writes in, I need a TLDR, aka too long, didn't read, on the new Suicide Squad movie. What even is that shit?
We're talking about the one that came out like in August.
He's talking about the one last year, which is not shit. It is not shit. It is a great movie. What he doesn't or didn't understand was, is it a sequel? Is it a reboot? Is it a prequel? So just a quick rundown on what the Suicide Squad movie is. It's a sequel boot. So it's a soft reboot. Yeah, soft reboot of the terrible. You could even put her as the worst villain of all time. The Suicide Squad movie from 2016, I think, with Will Smith. Terrible movie. So it did so bad that they wanted to make another one, but they didn't want to make another one, so they soft rebooted it with some of the same cast and new cast. And James Gunn came in as the director this time and knocked it out of the freaking park. Yeah. It is not a movie for kids. So keep the boys upstairs while you watch that one, Bryant. But we highly recommend watching this movie. Coming off of this movie is the Peacemaker TV show, which is airing right now on HBO Max, which is excellent.
I've been enjoying it.
I caught up on it during my COVID.
It's been cracking me up.
That almost made my presents stuff later.
Yeah. So Jason, did you watch the Suicide Squad movie?
I watched the first one, which I didn't think was that massive of a turd. I mean,
really?
Yeah, it was entertaining. I mean, I guess like I probably wasn't.
You mean not as massive as a Dooku?
Yes, it was a smaller Dooku than I think.
Was it quite a count?
Yeah, I mean, it was just entertaining to me. I mean, there's definitely some stuff that was wrong with it. The version of the Joker was probably the worst part of the whole thing for me. Yeah. That made me almost want to flush the turd, but there were parts that were fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, Eric, you're a big fan of the newest one, right?
2/3 of the movie, yes. Yeah. So,
which 2/3?
Paula Morgan and
the first, the back, and the first. Yeah, I almost wish I drank, because that would have been fantastic. Because by the third act, I probably have been like, hell yeah, this is great. But the first 2/3 of that movie were brilliant, and I absolutely love it. It just took a turn to an absurd place that I just really struggled with. But
that's right. The big starfish kaiju.
I got it. I was like, and I realized, don't get me wrong, I realized the absurdity of my problem of their absurdity. I'm being completely absurd. Where I can believe that a guy's arms completely detach from each other and float through the air, and that there's another guy that's a weasel who happens to eat children, and everybody's okay with that, and
I'm glad you said it, because that was what I was thinking the whole time.
But this thing at the end, that's just too much for me, guys. I can't do that. So I get that I am not. Fair. I get that I am not. But I did enjoy the hell out of that movie. I really did. My problems with the third act are my problems. They're not the problems with the movie. It's just that's where they went, and I was like, oh, okay, So from
we all have our limits, Eric. We all have our limits,
right? Yeah. I couldn't go there, but I think it just took a turn. Like if the villain was something else, I probably would have been okay with it, but it just turned into that, and I was like, wow, what just happened there? So, yeah. But again, I enjoyed the movie. I had no regrets about going to watch it. I just afterwards was like, Jesus, what just happened?
Morgan,
I enjoyed it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's a good take. I like it.
Yeah. If Brian,
solid take.
So has Brian watched it and he just didn't didn't get like where it fell.
He hasn't. He hasn't. He heard me talking about it on the Presents a couple weeks ago from our premiere in season 2, and he's been wondering about it, and so he's just wondering what is this shit.
I'm kind of curious what it was you guys didn't like about the first one. Was it the storyline,
kind of all of it,
the fact that like some of the characters weren't accurate, or
it's like, it's probably because it has Jai Courtney in it.
Terrible. So. Yeah, Jai Courtney.
They cast Jai Courtney in it, and I'm done. You know,
he's out. All right. Well, that's enough said.
Yeah, it just wasn't good. I didn't like Will Smith. I didn't like the Joker. I didn't like Harley Quinn was a highlight, and deservedly so. She gets all the fame. Movie. So
Bird of Prey was pretty cool. I enjoyed that one a lot.
So
Brian, or anybody who hasn't watched,
got some good stuff out of it.
Yeah, anybody who hasn't watched the Suicide Squad, the second one, I guess what you want to call it, watch it. Like it is worth watching. It is worth checking it out for sure.
It's so funny too, and we were introduced to a couple new characters that we hadn't seen that weren't in the original, like I said, and Ratcatcher was a highlight. King Shark was hilarious.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone.
So
and
hungry.
Yeah. I just think the and Idris Elba is just as always.
He's the man.
He's the man in that. Yeah, he is.
What's his name? Mr. Flag. I always forget his name.
Oh yeah, Joel Kinnaman.
Joel Kinnaman look like Idris Elba.
Yeah. So watch it there, Brian. Let us know what you think. And with that, we are wrapping up episode 3 of season 2 of the Nerd Rundown. Thank you, Jason, for joining us. Morgan, Eric, you guys are awesome as always. And Eric, we appreciate you coming on, even though you have the COVID right now. We wish you extremely well health. What the hell is that? We extremely help you all the way to health.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Thank you.
Showing some true grit and strength coming on the show and hanging out with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great having you back as well. So it's been a good fun time, big fun time.
You guys did a fantastic job last week. Loved it. Had me laughing. Sure. So with that being said, we're gonna go hop on the Presents, but before I forgot this, Morgan, this is your job to remind me. Before you do anything else tonight, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't.
Yes.
And then we'll see you next week on the Nerd Rundown.
See ya. Bye.
Deuces.
Arrivederci, nerds.